بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. So today will be a continuation of what we've been studying about commanding good, forbidding the evil, and al-hisba. And in particular, we've been spending a few weeks on the foundation about al-masalih wal-mafasid, benefit and harm. And we'll just do a little bit more on this topic today, just to make sure that we comprehensively and thoroughly understood the topic, because it is a matter of a lot of controversy and contention among the people. People misuse this principle a lot, misunderstand what it means. So we've spoken about al-masalih mu'tabara, the recognized benefit in Islam, wal-masalih al-mulghat, and the rejected, nullified benefits which the Sharia has nullified and negated, such as anything which is haram. So what is recognized as benefit in Islam is whatever Allah ordered us to do. Okay? That is called benefit, maslahah. So whatever involves obedience to Allah, that is beneficial. And whatever involves disobedience to Allah will never have benefit whatsoever. So where do we outweigh the benefit and the harm? The only area that we can decide what is more beneficial or less beneficial is in the permissible matters. Okay, al-mubah, what Allah has made permissible for us, meaning what the legislator has given you a choice to do or not to do. That is called the permissible matters, al-ibaha or mubah. Okay, Allah did not order you to do it, nor did He forbid you from doing it. He gave you a choice. Do if you like or leave if you like. Okay, so in those matters, we want to choose the options which is the most beneficial and best for us, which achieves the objective of the Sharia, the obedience to Allah, more. Okay, so for example, the objective of the Sharia is to bring benefit and to remove harm. The Prophet ﷺ, he would always choose. Okay, the hadith says, whenever the Prophet had a choice in two matters, he would choose the easiest of the two options. So whenever Allah has given you a choice, not when Allah said, pray is fard, give da'wah is fard, forbid evil is fard. That's not a choice. That's called, if you don't do it, you are sinful. If you do it, you have reward. Allah wants you to do it. And it's not about when Allah said, don't drink, don't vote for legislators, don't rule by man-made laws, don't go to the taghut for judgment. That's not a choice. Allah said, don't do it. He's forbidden you. He warned you of hellfire for doing it. I mean, there can be no benefit in that whatsoever. It's only harm. And what Allah ordered us, there can be no harm in it whatsoever. There can be only benefits. But in the matters where Allah has given you a choice, the Prophet, whenever he was given a choice between two, he would choose the easiest among them. He would choose the easiest option, the one that has less hardship. Because Allah did not send the deen to make hardship for us. Did not send the deen for us to face difficulty. So in the matters where we have choice, we would choose the option which is better, more beneficial, safer, less hardship, more precaution, has more protection for the deen and the life and the wealth and the honor and the mind. Because these are the main benefits, objective of the Sharia, is to preserve hifd al-deen, hifd al-nafs, hifd al-mal, hifd al-ard, and hifd al-aql, the protection, preservation of the deen. And that's the number one priority. Preservation of the life and the wealth and the honor and the mind. So whichever of the two permissible things Allah has given us will give us more protection for the deen, more idhar al-deen, more making the word of Allah the highest, more tabligh, making the word reach the people more al-balagh al-mubin, the clear message to come out. Whichever will achieve it more out of the permissible things, this is where we will outweigh the benefit and the harm. The Prophet ﷺ, he also warned us that does not mean, and that can never mean, to remain silent about the truth. That is impossible. It can never be that silence about the truth, about the deen, can be beneficial or less harmful. You don't have a choice. The hadith in Sunan al-Bayhaqi, as well as al-Tabarani and Ibn Hibban, the Prophet said, no one of you should remain silent about the truth out of fear of the people. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no one of you should keep silent about the truth out of fear of the people. Okay? Whatever it is. People ask you about, what do you think about the Mujahideen, Jabhat al-Nusra? What do you think about Islamic State of Iraq and Sham? What are you going to say? You say, no, they're terrorists, they're extremists. Why are you hiding the truth for? He didn't permit you to hide the truth. Yeah, but the kuffar are going to call me extremists. Why do you care about what they say? Why are you afraid of them? That is not maslahah, is not benefit. The other hadith in Sunan al-Bayhaqi as well, the Prophet ﷺ said, narrated by Ibn Abbas, so the Prophet ﷺ said, no one of you should fear the people when speaking the truth or addressing the oppression, dhulm, because his speech, his saying, will never make him closer to his ajal or distance him from his rizq. Okay, so the hadith says, no one of you should fear the people when speaking the truth. Okay. No one of you should fear the people when speaking the truth or addressing the oppression. Because his saying will never make him closer to his ajal, his lifespan. Okay, I mean, it will never bring his death closer to him. Nor will it distance him from his rizq, from his provision. Okay, I mean, Allah is not going to decrease your rizq. Your rizq is fixed. Okay, it's decreed for you already. Whatever you do is not going to change what you eat or how long you live. Okay, that fear in people's minds. If I speak, akhi, I'm going to lose my job. If I won't be able to feed my children. I'm going to be poor. Is that what you want, akhi? Okay, you want us all to die in poverty? Akhi, taqillah, what are you talking about? Your ajal and your rizq is fixed. It's not going to change. Okay, you speak the truth and you don't fear anybody but Allah. Don't make it about, yes, but the maslahah. You want them to close the mosque. Akhi, if the masjid is in your rizq, it's not going to change. You will never lose it. If the masjid is not in your rizq, you will lose it. Whether you speak or you don't, the only difference is you will be punished by Allah for not speaking the truth. That's the only difference. So you see, what people are thinking, you bring harm to the community. What harm, akhi? What harm? The kuffar attack us. They were always going to attack us. People said, you created the EDL. Akhi, our uncles and our aunties and our parents, they faced the real racism in the UK long before Anjum Chowdhury or Sheikh Omar Bakri or Abu Hamza. Long before them. You forget about the NF. Combat 18, BNP. What, EDL are the first people to be racist? People fooled. They want to blame the deen. They want to blame the obligations. Like the one who wants to go say to the job, say, because of you, always going to Jum'ah Salah, always praying your Salah 5 times a day. Because of you, they call us extremes. What are you talking about? Allah told us to pray. You don't stop praying the Salah. You don't stop fasting in Ramadan. You don't stop doing any of the good deeds or the duties. You always continue to obey Allah Ta'ala. So the Prophet said, no one of you should fear the people when speaking the truth or addressing the oppression, because his saying will never make him closer to his ajal, his lifespan, nor will it distance him from his rizq, his provision. This is in Sunan al-Bayhaqi. So we carry the da'wah like a mujahid, knowing that nothing can harm us, nothing can stop us, nothing can stop the deen of Allah Ta'ala. And if something was to reach me, calamity was to reach me, it's because Allah decreed it already. And there's no way for me to have avoided it. It's impossible. The Prophet ﷺ, he said that no, anything that afflicts you was never going to miss you. And any calamity that missed you was never going to afflict you. The pen has been lifted and the pages have dried. And the qadr has been written already. Okay? Nothing's going to change. Because of your da'wah, it's your own fault you went to prison. Akhi, if I went to prison for the deen and for the da'wah, alhamdulillah, I'll get reward for it, I'll get Jannah for it. If I'm sincere and I still stand firm, I'll go to Jannah. But the fact that somebody went to prison, it was guaranteed to take place anyway. He was always going to go to prison. If not because he was practicing the deen and calling for the deen of Allah, making the word of Allah the highest, then for selling drugs, or for stealing, or for getting into a fight. But if Allah decreed he's going to be in prison, he's going to be in prison. The difference is, what did you do in your life? Were you obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or were you disobeying Allah? So you never compromise the obedience to Allah and the duties for the sake of fear from the people or things. That's not called benefit, outweighing the benefits. However, Okay. And also Allah Ta'ala warned us that our own intentions of maslahah is never going to be accepted if we are calling people to disobey Allah Ta'ala. In Surah Tawbah verse 107, Surah 9 verse 107, Allah Ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا مَسْجِدًا ضِرَارًا وَكُفْرًا وَتَفْرِيقًا بين المؤمنين وإرصادا لمن حارب الله ورسوله من قبل وليحلفن إن أردنا إلا الحسنى والله يشهد إنهم لكاذبون. Allah says, and he's talking about people who were considered Muslim at the time of Rasulullah, and they built a masjid. Okay, they built a masjid, and in that masjid they promoted certain haram things for the sake of good. They said, we only want good. And Allah said that those people who took the masjid as dirar, masjid dirar, the harmful masjid, to harm the Muslims and to promote the disbelief and to divide the believers and to be a spy post for those who fight against Allah and His Messenger before, they will swear to you, we only intended good, we only intended the maslahah for it, and Allah testified that they are the liars. That's what Allah said. Somebody to build a masjid, okay, and use that masjid to harm the believers and to promote the kufr of democracy, of the interfaith, of spying on Muslims, or joining the army, recruiting for the police of the Tawagheet, all of these kufr ideas, start promoting them in the masjid. And they say, brother, just for the sake of the maslahah of the da'wah, for the sake of the benefit of the da'wah, if we do this, police will leave us alone, they won't call us extremists, they will help us. Okay, we just have to work with the prevent strategy. Okay, that's all we have to do. So Allah said, they promote the kufr and they divide the believers. How do they divide the believers? Say, look, these are extremists. We are the moderates. They are the fundamentalists. Those are the fanatics. These are the deviants. These are the khawarij. These are the rebels. Can catch them, arrest them, send them to the police. Whereas only those people, moderate chocolate police officer, he's the only one who's real Muslim. Okay? That dividing the community, dividing the believers is a sign of masjid dirar. Okay? And the other one, the ayah says, وَإِصَادًا لِمَنْ حَارَبَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولَهُ, and as a spy post for the disbelievers. Okay, said, Akhi, what's this CCTV camera in the masjid, Akhi, while we're all praying? What's it for? Why do we need to have this microphone recording everything we're saying? Akhi, for the maslahah. What maslahah? This is exactly what the munafiqeen said. They said, إِنْ أَرَدْنَا إِلَّا الْحُسْنَى, we only intended good. We only intended maslahah, benefit. So whatever Allah has forbidden will never be beneficial for the da'wah, even if it is. So now we come to some of the examples.
Sorry, what was that?
That was Surah Tawbah, verse 107. Surah 9, verse 107. Okay. There's a few evidences here that I don't think we need to go to, but I'll go to one more, just to illustrate again another example of masalih mulghat, the negated benefits. Allah Ta'ala says, وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ كَذَلِكَ زَيَّنَّا لِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ عَمَلَهُمْ ثُمَّ إِلَى رَبِّهِمْ مَرْجِعُهُمْ فَيُنَبِّئُهُم بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Allah Ta'ala says, do not swear at the gods of the disbelievers, otherwise they will swear at Allah out of their own animosity, without knowledge. And that is how they're beautified. That's how it's been beautified for every nation, their own actions. Okay? And then they will be returned to Allah Ta'ala and they'll be informed of what they used to do. So Allah says in this ayah that somebody could think that there's some benefit, and this is how the action has been beautified for him, thinking is good. If we can swear at their gods. Why? Because we hate them. We hate them, we hate their gods, so therefore we can swear at them. This is where we need to understand the difference between al-wala wal-bara, loving and hating for the sake of Allah, and something a matter of partisan and personal issue. We love the believers for the sake of Allah, and we hate the disbelievers for the sake of Allah. Not personal, not because of me, okay? Not because of his nose or because of his hairstyle, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hates them. And we treat them according to Islam, fairly and justly, the way Allah ordered us, for the sake of Allah. I mean, the one who hates for the sake of Allah, he will never disobey Allah in relation to them. He will never say, Akhi, he's kafir, Akhi, it doesn't matter, we can cheat him, we can steal from him. Akhi, he's kafir, it doesn't matter, we can swear at him. He's kafir, we can beat him up. When you have covenant security, it's not allowed. Akhi, he's kafir anyway, doesn't matter. Let's swear at his father, swear at his parents, swear at his idols, swear at his gods. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade us. So when Allah forbids us from something, even if you think there's some benefit in it, it's prohibited. It's not allowed. Okay? No matter how much you hate the kuffar, that's why the emotion is not hukum shar'i. Your feelings and emotions is not evidence for you to decide hukum, to decide what is the ruling in Islam, halal or haram. So Allah warned us, do not swear. Okay? Swearing is haram in Islam anyway. Okay? All forms of swearing. The Prophet said, لَيْسَ مَرْءُ الْمُؤْمِنِ بِالطَّعَانِ وَلَا بِاللِّعَانِ وَلَا بِالْفَحْشِ وَلَا بِالْبَذِي. So the believer does not defame and discredit, does not curse, does not use sexual swear words, and does not speak evil words. Okay, all of these swear words. The other hadith says he's not sababa and he's not fahish. He doesn't use swear words or sign language, the middle finger or the two fingers or whatever the customary swear words are, swear signs are. It's prohibited in Islam. We don't use it even if we think there might be some benefit in it. And this is the proof for that in this ayah. Anything which is haram in Islam, we can never do it thinking that there's going to be benefits, because it will create a greater harm. Yes?
What ayah was that?
This ayah was Surah An'am, verse 108. Surah 6, verse 108. Okay, Surah 6, verse 108. Okay, so Allah forbade us from swearing at the gods of the mushrikeen, because that is a harmful thing leading to a harm. Okay, so it's been negated. That does not mean, however, what some people interpret, that based upon this ayah, therefore you should not do anything that might anger the kuffar, okay, or that might lead to them insulting Allah or the Messenger. It's not the same. We cannot make qiyas on this. Okay, qiyas, analogy, is when two things share the same reality or the same divine reason. Okay, they are similar to each other. Okay, if you want to make qiyas, look at it this way. If somebody says, you cannot say the idols are falsehood because the kuffar will swear at Allah. What are you talking about? Rasulullah swear, undermined all of the idols in the way of life and condemned them and called them just names their parents made up, and in the hellfire. It said to them as well, إِنَّكُمْ وَمَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ حَصَبُ جَهَنَّمَ. You and what you worship instead of Allah is fuel for the hellfire. So you can't say to me, don't say democracy, go to hell. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you and your idols go to hell. And the Prophet said it as well in Mecca. So you cannot say it's haram. Okay? What you say is here, okay, the analogy will be say anything which is a haram in Islam that might lead to them insulting Allah is haram. Because the ayah said, do not swear at them. It's haram to swear. So somebody could say, it's also haram to lie. Okay? It's also haram for you to insult their parents. It's also haram for you to slander. These things are all haram in Islam. So somebody could say, don't do that because it will lead to the kuffar having more harm upon us. Fair enough. Okay? I agree. Because these things are prohibited, any benefit is negated. But you cannot say, don't do what the Messenger of Allah did because the kuffar might get angry. Rather, Allah taught us in the Quran, He said, فَاسْتَعْ بِمَا تُؤْمَرْ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Declare openly whatever Allah revealed. That cannot be harmful. وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Turn away from the mushrikeen. إِنَّكَ فَيْنَاكَ الْمُسْتَهْزِئِينَ. We are enough to deal with those who insult you. And Ibn Kathir said, at the time this ayah was revealed, was the height of the insults against the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I mean, the kuffar, because of the da'wah of Rasulullah, was insulting Allah and the deen and the Messenger more than anything else. Okay, more than any other time. So Allah declared, continue speaking, don't stop, and don't bother about mushrikeen. Allah is enough to deal with them. Okay, so that is surah.
What was revealed in the Ibn Kathir said at first was revealed.
It was revealed in Mecca in the time when the Quraysh were insulting the Messenger so much that the Prophet ﷺ was feeling the hardship. So Allah revealed this ayah telling him to proclaim openly whatever Allah revealed.
6:108.
No, that's a different one. This is surah.
You didn't give a reference for this.
Yeah, you can give it inshallah. It's going to be surah 15 verse 94 to 95. Surah 15, verse 94 to 95. And that was Surah 6 verse 108 where it was. Okay. I'll give you another example, just to prove this point as well. Allah Ta'ala also told us about the Jews and the Christians, how they used to insult and mock the adhan. Okay? In Surah, I believe in Surah Jum'ah, I can check it inshallah. I think it's Surah Jum'ah or Surah Mujadila. Allah said, don't take as allies those disbelievers from the Jews and Christians, from the people of the book, who mock and take your adhan, your call to prayer, as a joke. Okay, as a mocking. Does that mean we stop giving adhan? Because we give adhan and the mushrikeen start to insult and start to swear? Actually, easy to stop the deen after that. Anytime the kafir wants to stop the deen, oh, you're praying. I'm going to swear at Allah if you pray, so you can't pray anymore. What are you talking about? No, the ayah is not talking about that at all. Okay? So this is one thing, inshallah. I don't want to go, there's many other evidences, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. We've spent plenty of time already. So now we come to the examples in the permissible matters. We're talking about now the styles and means of the da'wah. Those matters which Allah has given us a choice in. Here we will choose the easiest, most beneficial option that will remove the most harm. No reason for us to pray extra difficult. Give extra difficulty for us. For example, yes?
Why was that about the Jews and Christians?
Okay, let me get it for you, inshallah. Okay, there's one ayah, it's Surah 5 verse 57 to 58. Okay? So Surah 5 verse 57 to 58. Okay, the second ayah Allah says, وَإِذَا نَادَيْتُمُ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ اتَّخَذُوهَا هُزُوًا وَلَعِبًا. He said, whenever you call to the salah, they take it as a joke and play, mocking. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ قَوْمٌ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ. That's because they are people who don't think. Okay, and the ayah before was naming them as the people of the book. The Jews and Christians used to do that. Okay, so we already gave the evidence which the Prophet said, or rather it was narrated about the Prophet, that whenever the Prophet was given a choice between two matters, he would choose the easiest of the two. So here we understand where is the context of outweighing between benefit and harm. Where Allah has given us that choice. It is mubah. Means up to us whether we do or don't do. There's no special reward or sin attached to it. For example, nobody will say that you must do da'wah stall, otherwise you're sinful. That's just a styles and means of the da'wah. But you must do da'wah. If you do da'wah by doing da'wah stall, you fulfill your fard. And we say the means or the styles of the duty share the same hukum. So, if you use means to fulfill your fard, okay, that is fard. But we don't say to use that style is fard. Okay, that is optional. Whether you do your da'wah stall in the marketplace or in the park or in Hyde Park Corner or in Trafalgar Square, okay, wherever you do it, it's up to, that is permissible. Allah didn't restrict it. It's been left for you open. Similarly, it's not fard upon anybody to do a demonstration, but it is a means of fulfilling many obligations, many duties. It is not fard upon us to have a talk like this, where we have tables and chairs, and we are sitting with brothers in the front and sisters at the back, with pal talk running as well, and the camera, and we're going to record it, put it on YouTube. All of these things are permissible to do or don't do it. But if we do it, it's more beneficial for us. You can see, because the objective and the duty is what? Al-balagh al-mubin, to convey, for it to reach as many people as possible. So if we invite people, rather than me sitting here talking to myself, it's better I invite people. There's more benefit in that. I could have just invited 2 brothers, but why not invite everybody? So you see that here we have the choice. We have permissibility. So here we want to choose the option which is more beneficial. To do it in a public place. To advertise it before, so that many people can come. To make facilities for sisters so that they can attend as well. To make available online so people can listen in. To record the video, to record the audio, to put it on the internet, to spread it on Facebook and Twitter and all over everywhere. The more of all these permissible things that we do, we're just increasing the benefit and the beneficial outcomes of the talk. So this is where we outweigh the benefit and the harm. So somebody could say, brother, it's better to record it than not to record it. Okay, let's record it, inshallah. Okay? It's better for you to have a microphone, maybe. Okay, than not to have a microphone. And today you can see we don't have a microphone. So it's permissible. We can do it or not. Okay? But the problem is whether it's got to buy a microphone and microphone system going to cost you £200. Okay, I don't have £200. Okay, alhamdulillah, we'll leave it. Okay, so because it's a matter of choice, matter of permissibility. Okay? But no doubt, I'm sure it would be beneficial if we had one. If we had many other equipment as well, it could be beneficial. So all of these things are the matter. So another example is the time. The time of the da'wah is not restricted. It's unrestricted. Okay? Nuh alayhi salam, he said, Inni da'awtu qawmi layla wa nahara. I call my people night and day. Okay? Inni a'lantu lahum wa asrartu lahum israra. And I came out to them openly, publicly, and I came out to them as well, secretly, privately. So meaning, the time and place of the da'wah and command good for the evil is unrestricted by time. Okay? So, that means I can choose the best time. We could do it at 6 o'clock, where everybody's available, or I could do it at 3 o'clock in the morning, where everybody's asleep. I could do it at 10 o'clock, where the sisters won't be able to go home. Okay? Or we could do it at 3 o'clock, when everybody has to pick up their kids from school. So you can see that sometimes will be more beneficial than others, because more people can attend. The other thing is to choose particular times to do particular topics or activities in order to catch the attention of the people. This as well is from the sunnah, okay, of outweighing between the benefit and the harm. For example, 3rd of March is coming up in the year. We don't celebrate any particular day except for 2 days, Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr. So nothing called a celebration or commemoration. However, there is nothing wrong with talking about certain issues that are relevant to particular dates. Okay? For example, in the time of Hajj, people talk about Ibrahim alayhi salam. Nothing wrong with that. In the time of Muharram, you talk about Musa alayhi salam. In the time of Ramadan, you talk about Badr and the battles in Ramadan in the time of Rasulullah. There's no problem with that, because that was something that will grab the attention of the people. Okay? In the time of, now we're talking about a date which is significant because people don't know about the destruction of the Khilafah. But it was destroyed 90 years ago on the 3rd of March 1924. So nothing wrong with us talking about it on the 3rd of March. To highlight, oh, it's today's the 3rd of March. Let people they hear and they catch their attention. The whole year they don't listen to it, but this time they think about it, they listen to it. The same thing, you can have a demonstration against the soldiers any day of the week, any week of the year. But if you do it on the day of their parade when they're coming back, actually it grabs attention of the people. Has much greater impact, more benefit, because the whole world will hear about it and the message will reach everybody. And the Muslims will feel proud and the disbelievers will feel frustrated and angry. All of that is benefit. All of that is maslahah. Okay? So, okay, why do you do it? Okay, because we want to achieve the maslahah, we want to achieve the benefit. Okay? So this is all part of the outweighing. One of the examples and evidence for that is narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud in Sahih al-Bukhari, that the Prophet ﷺ used to preach a lot during the times of fitna in order to prevent the people from taking part in the fitna. Okay? So he said in the time of fitna, the Prophet used to preach to us a lot in order to prevent the people from taking part in the fitna. Okay? So for example, on Friday nights, this is the time of all the fitna for the youth. So we have Qiyamul Layl at that time, not because it's special sunnah recommended fard to have Qiyamul Layl on Friday night from 10 o'clock. No, brother, but that's the time when people go into the clubs. If you can grab them and say, come to listen to an Islamic talk instead, it's better. Save them from that fitna. Okay? We have Qiyamul Layl sometimes at New Year's time, Christmas time. Why? Not to celebrate Christmas on New Year's. Because we don't want them to go to the New Year's parties or the Christmas parties. Let them come to Islamic talk and learn about the deen. Save them from that fitna. People want to go out on that time. They want to be with their friends. You and your friends come over here. It's better for you. Come on. So you see, there's benefits at that time. You can say, why not do it 2 days before? Because they're going to go to the parties otherwise. That's why. So we use that time in order to benefit. So you see, choosing the best time, the best place, the best format, the best styles and means. All of this is part of the benefit and the harm. The other thing is the way that you portray, the style that you give. somebody could explain the same hukum while confusing the people. And somebody could explain the hukum while making it clear for the people. So you use the best word to the best of your ability. Obviously, somebody not deliberately doing that, he could make mistake. Okay, nobody is perfect. The Prophet ﷺ, he was blessed. Allah blessed him with al-jawami' al-kalim. He had the most comprehensive, concise words. Not everybody's going to have that. Even Musa alayhi salam, he was afraid because he used to have a stutter. So he was worried about his speech. He said about Fir'aun, he said, I'm afraid that I go to him, Fir'aun will not understand me. You see? And sometimes people are able to explain better than others, even to convince somebody of something which is wrong. That's why the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when he judged between two people, in which there was no real evidence, it was just their word, one word, the word of one against the other, he said to them both, he said, look, I am a human being. Sometimes one of you may be more articulate than his brother, and I may give him a right that belongs to his brother, but whatever he takes from that, he takes from hellfire. So the two, immediately they said, it's his, I don't want it. You see? So meaning even the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, he could be convinced by one person's speech, even if it's wrong, because he's more articulate than the other. So the people will have mistakes and shortcomings. Not everybody will be able to explain it in the best way, using the best words. Okay? But to his best ability, he will use as much as he can to make it clear for the people. If somebody says, Akhi, you don't become kafir for voting in the parliamentary elections unless you know that it's shirk and kufr and you had no duress. And why you want to go around the world for this? Just say what the people need to understand. Voting for MP is kufr. Okay? But if you're under duress, you have an excuse. If you have this excuse, you have that excuse. That's how we teach in Islam. So the people understand. Instead, what the people they start to say, voting is not kufr. It's okay, we need the maslahah. So they start to think that voting is allowed in Islam. The democracy is part of Islam. They say to you, yes, we have democracy in Islam. It's called shura. No, don't say that. Say we have shura in Islam. We don't have democracy. Because you confuse the people. So the words that you use is important. Here you will choose the best words, so the best of your ability, to explain the matter to the people in a way that they will understand and distinguish between the truth and the falsehood. Okay? And not to lead to the people misunderstanding and disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, for example, there's a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, Kitab al-Ilm, narrated by Mu'adh bin Jabal, that he went to the Prophet ﷺ saying that here I am, okay, labbaik ya Rasulullah, I'm here, okay, between your two hands. And the Prophet ﷺ said it repeated, he called him again, and he said it 3 times, like this. Then the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said to him, anybody who testifies that there's none worthy of worship beside Allah, la ilaha illallah, and Muhammad Rasulullah, that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, believing in his heart, Allah will forbid upon him the hellfire. Okay? Allah will forbid upon him the hellfire. Okay? It's not the end of the hadith, but I will just repeat that so we can be together inshaAllah while we're writing this. So the Prophet called Mu'adh, he said, here I am, Ya Rasulullah, okay, between your two hands, meaning I'm here in front of you. And he repeated that 3 times. Okay? He repeated it 3 times in total. And the Prophet said, whoever testifies to La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, believing that in his heart, Allah will forbid upon him hellfire. So Mu'adh bin Jabal, he asked, should I give the good news to the people? Okay, should I give the people this good news? The Prophet ﷺ said, no, because the people will become lazy. They will have tawakkul. They will rely on it without to do any effort. Okay, they will say, I said la ilaha illallah, and I don't need to pray, I don't need to fast, I don't need to, it's okay, Allah will forgive me, I'm going to Jannah anyway. Okay, I mean the people are going to misunderstand. That's not what the hadith means. Hadith means you'll be accountable, but nobody who says la ilaha illallah, believing in his heart, will be in hellfire forever. Eventually they go to Jannah. Okay. So Mu'adh asked, should I give the people the good news? The Prophet said, no, because the people will become lazy. Now, does that mean he should hide the knowledge? No. If he hid the knowledge, how do we know this hadith? He narrated it. But he narrated it at the right time. Not to come out public declaration to the people, don't worry, it's okay. No more duties, no more obligations, no more jihad. Don't worry about the sins. You're going to go to Jannah anyway. Because Rasulullah said, whoever says La ilaha illallah, okay, Allah will forbid upon him the hellfire. That's the wrong way to do it. Because that will create the harm. The people will rely on it. Rather, you explain it in the correct way, in the right time, in the right place. The way Mu'adh, he narrated it to us, so we still have this hadith recorded. But without for us to misunderstand and to start to leave the duty because of it. Okay? So Mu'adh, he had this balance in his da'wah. Okay? Also, there's a similar hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah as well. I'm not going to repeat it. It's very similar. So we're going to move on, inshallah. The other thing, okay, if you want to look at it practically as well, okay, look at some practical examples. In today's reality, okay, you want to think about your da'wah in terms of ihsan. How can I make my da'wah perfect? Okay, at the same time, without to have a perfectionist disease, because it's a matter about doing as much as you can. But if there are two ways to do it, to do a thing, you should choose the best option, the safest option, the one that can achieve the most benefits. So, if that means hiring the best hall while you can afford it, hire the best hall. Okay. If it means arranging the chairs in a way that everybody can hear and see in the best way, take the time to do it. Don't think it's not important. Just chuck the chairs anyhow. No, make the effort to do everything in the best way, in the most perfect way. Okay, to arrange everything in the way that is the best. Okay, if you want to have a leaflet, have a leaflet. If you want to make it, should make it colour or black and white? If you can do a colour, I can do a colour. Don't be stingy in your da'wah. Don't be stingy in your good deeds. It's not about, okay, let me do the bare minimum. No, you have opportunity. If something is beneficial and you have a choice, permissible for you to do it two ways, do the best way. That is according to your capability. Okay? Of course, not everybody can afford to do the best of the best of the best. Some people have more money than others. So according to your capability, you do the best. The other thing is, if I want to take now, so I want to give you some real life examples that you're going to face. Let's say you have a situation now where the people want to speak to you, or you want to give a message about what's happening around the world. Okay? About the jihad, about the fighting in Syria, in Iraq, about the operations of Mujahideen. Because everybody's speaking rubbish and attacking the Mujahideen, condemning them. Somebody needs to speak up for them. Somebody needs to respond. We know from the hadith of Rasulullah how it's not right for us to allow the kuffar to attack and insult and condemn without to reply back. When Abu Sufyan, at that time he was mushrik, he used to insult and attack after Uhud. He was shouting at the Muslims, insulting them, saying that they have no victory. They have Uzzah and the Muslims have no Izzah. Why? Because they had a small defeat. And he was quoting his idols. Okay? And the Prophet ﷺ, he said to Umar, why don't you respond to him? I mean, don't just let him get away with it. You don't just let the media and the kuffar say what they like and you don't respond. So now how's the best way to respond? Okay? There are a few things to consider in this. First of all, I could respond in my bedroom, okay, and speak to my wife and my children. I could tell them they're wrong. But nobody's going to hear it. Understand? I could go out in the streets and shout to a few people. Maybe 10 or 20 people hear it. Or I can challenge them on their platform and say what they don't want to be said on their own platform. Doesn't matter what they are going to distort it and condemn it afterwards. Let it be said, because nobody's saying it. The people, they are upset with people who speak the truth on the TV. But believe me, the day when they don't speak it, they're going to look for him. The day when everybody's speaking is, this one is kafir, this one murtad, this one munafiq. Everybody's speaking from the same tune, saying yes, the British soldiers, they are so good and those Muslims so bad. When the people start, everybody saying that, people are going to start missing Anjum Chowdhury. Going to start missing Sheikh Omar. I said, where are they? What happened to? There used to be some people used to speak something, say something good. I wish somebody would speak the truth. People miss them when it's too late. Okay? They don't appreciate it. So you can use their platform and spread the da'wah everywhere to millions of people. If you can do that, that is the most beneficial thing. Doesn't matter that they will try to cut you off and try to distort you. Don't think that harms anybody. It doesn't harm anybody because people see through it. Because al-haqqu ablaj. The Muslim has confidence, he understands. The truth is clear. We're not trying to convince somebody of a lie. When you try to convince somebody of a lie, you need to package it in a way to convince them. But when you have the truth, once you say it, it's enough, people recognize it. Even if everybody tries to cloud it with their own kufr and their own falsehood and their lies, people, they see the truth shining between all of their filth. Because that's the nature of the truth. It is the haqq. So when you come out and you speak the haqq, remember the kuffar, they don't believe it's the haqq. So they let you speak the truth thinking, it's okay, we believe in democracy, we can defeat him. I can counter him. But the truth is, the people recognize the truth and they reject their falsehood. That's why Islam is rising. That's why Islam is the fastest growing deen in the world. That's why the youth, they are attracted to Islam. That's why this battle for hearts and minds, no matter what they tried every tactic. The kuffar, the prevent strategy, the police, the MI5, MI6, the government, the politicians, the parliaments, they tried everything. Every time they change a law, okay, it doesn't matter, they're still winning. Okay, we just make another new law. New law tells you 2000, then 2001, then we amend it again. Then we have 2006, then we have amended it in 2007. Every time there's a new terror law, it doesn't change anything. Rather, the people are drawn more to Islam, more to jihad, more to the haqq and the tawheed. So you see the kuffar, they can't. So, you see there's benefit in you reaching the biggest audience to speak the truth. Okay? If you can have the truth spoken. And among that as well, there's a benefit and the harm. You can outweigh. So some of them, they will distort more than others. Okay? So tabloid newspaper, okay, they're going to distort you from A to Z. And the thing is, we don't talk to tabloid newspapers. Don't believe so. Shaykh Omar never used to do interviews with The Sun or The News of the World or Daily Express and all these. Never did it at all. They all wrote about him and fabricate and lie and they claim that they spoke to him. Never spoke to him once. They copy and paste from other newspapers. That's all. You understand? So you can say, I will never speak to these people because they are the worst liars. I'll just speak to them and let them take it from them. Okay? For example. Or somebody could say that I will favour, if I have 2 interviews I can attend, one of them is live. They can't edit me. They can't cut me off. They can't just cut and paste saying for me later on. It's live. I will speak and the people have to hear. The other one is we'll record for an hour and then we're going to take 2 minutes out of there, our choice later on, and you'll see the result. Okay, of course, the live is better. So you can see here how we can outweigh between benefit and harm. The other thing is your own security and safety. When you have a choice between 2 ways, you want to take the easiest option, the least harmful. So, there's 2 ways of saying things, or there are many ways of saying something. So somebody could turn around and say that so-and-so Mujahid, Khalid bin Walid, for example. Okay? Radiallahu anhu. Imagine there was a Khalid bin Walid of today. Somebody could say, MashaAllah, Khalid bin Walid, he is the best of the best of the best, and he is the great Mujahid fighter, fighting for Islam, and whoever supports him, and I support him, and I love him, and I believe he's magnificent, and he's fantastic, and his activity, he can do all of this. Okay? But in the UK, you get arrested, for example. At the same time, he could say that Khalid bin Walid is fighting the British, okay, or Qurayshi soldiers, and those soldiers are the worst of the worst of the worst. And they are evil, and they are rapists and killers and baby killers and murderers, and they are the real terrorists. Okay? The message is actually the same. But one is illegal, one's not illegal. And the funny thing is, the newspaper will still report that he was condoning and praising it. He never said that. He never said anything illegal. So you don't need to say something illegal to pass the same message you're trying to pass. So here, you have a choice between the words you use. Okay? You don't need to say something which is going to get you in trouble when you can say the same thing without getting in trouble. Okay? But what you don't do is abandon the truth and start to side with the enemy and start to speak falsehood. That is the mistake of a lot of people. People who come out in the media and they speak publicly, public speakers, some of them, they speak the truth and they don't fear anybody. And some of them, they do that without any care at all, up front, no worries whatsoever. Okay? Like Michael Adebalajo, we can't deny. He just says it as it is. He doesn't think about it. He doesn't need to worry about it. Why? He knows he's going to prison. So he just says it. He said what he likes. Other people are terrified to say one word about jihad. The word jihad, they're afraid of it. If you mention, if you start a word with jim, they get worried. What's he going to say? Some people like this. So you have two extremes. Okay, that's not extreme, by the way. The one where I said Makal Adabalajo, Mujahid, you can't call that extreme. Dare anybody call that extreme? Why? Because that is the haqq, it's the sunnah of the anbiya. Anybody who does less than that, maybe he's doing something less. He's not doing the best thing. But maybe because he has a choice, he chooses whatever is beneficial for him. But nobody can say to speak the truth without to fear anybody but Allah, that is harmful. And somebody who says that, he is a fool and he has no knowledge about the deen of Islam whatsoever. Okay? The same way, somebody who says the one who speaks the truth without to fear anybody but Allah, and he wasn't arrested. Why didn't he get arrested? Because the qadr of Allah, akhi. Because Allah decreed he didn't get arrested. If you don't believe that, you're kafir. Because the one who believes that somebody can act outside of the qadr of Allah is kafir. Allah Ta'ala decrees everything. So Allah protects whoever He wishes. And in whatever calamity was not destined for a person, it was never going to reach him at all. That's why you don't make your da'wah about what am I afraid of. Okay? The kuffar, what they will say about me. What if they arrest me? You take your precautions. You do your best. Okay? So the ayah says, خُذُوا حِذْرَكُمْ. Take your precautions. Okay? But then he says, and then go out. I mean, go out and confront the disbelievers. Not take your precautions and hide at home. Take your precautions and leave your home. Okay? So the precaution is the permissible measures that you take to remove that harm and to protect yourself using permissible, outweighing between benefit and harm. But it should never be that you stop the da'wah completely, or you stop the message, or you distort the message, because that will never be a legitimate form of benefits. Now, that is enough, inshallah, I think, on the topic of benefit and harm, because we've been doing that for this topic now for about 3, maybe even 4 weeks. So we're going to move on now, inshallah, to the next foundation of commanding good from the evil, which is a very important one. Okay, they're all very important. This one in particular is a massive topic as well. So we're going to start it today as an introduction to the topic, and we will continue next week, inshallah. The foundation of commanding good from the evil, what number are we on in foundations?
Seven. Now we're on 7.
7, yeah?
You finish 6.
So foundation 7, verification. Verification. Tathabbut is a condition of commanding good from the evil. Okay? We've mentioned this briefly before anyway, in the previous topics, but this is a foundation in itself as well. Okay? So verification is a prerequisite condition of commanding good from the evil. Okay? You need to verify. Before you forbid an evil, you need to check that the person really committed that evil. Okay? You can't falsely accuse somebody. You should never start accusing people of sins they never committed. Like you walk up to somebody and you start saying, why don't you pray? Don't you know the leaving the salah is kufr? Okay, I pray. Who told you I don't pray? Why are you accusing me of something like this? It's not allowed. Okay? Or you just walk up to your neighbour, knock on the door and say, Taqillah akhi, alcohol is haram. You shouldn't drink. And you shouldn't take drugs either. Why are you gambling for? I don't gamble, I don't take drugs, I don't take alcohol. What are you talking about? You don't forbid a munkar does not exist. And in order to establish whether it exists, you need to verify. You need to have a tathabbut. Okay? So we don't have this matter of suspicion. Based upon suspicion and doubt, we start to forbid people, condemn people, and warn people about them as well. Before you check anything, ya akhi, they are kafir, they're deviant, he's murji'. Akhi, what is murji'? What does that mean? I don't know what it is, but he is one of them. You need to first verify, check. What does the Quran and Sunnah say, and what does this person say? Does it match or not? Is he actually committed a sin? Is he really deviant? Before you start warning everybody from him. Okay? Conspiracy theories. Everybody's an agent. Some people, they just sit in their room calculating. Yeah, Anju Chowd is agent. Shahram Bakri, agent. Abu Hamza, agent. Abu Qatada, agent. Osama bin Laden, agent. CIA. Imam Zawahiri, agent. Jawad al-Nusra, agent. All these people are agents. Subhanallah. The only one who's not agent is what? Majid Nawaz, Mo Ansar. What are you talking about? They're the biggest agents. You find everybody Muslim who speaks the haqq is agent. Because why? Why speak the truth for? Nobody will speak the truth except an agent. What are you talking about? And nobody will speak the falsehood and the lies like Mo Ansar and Majid Nawaz, except if he's Muslim, shrewd Muslim, thinking about the benefit and the maslahah, and he's the one who's really got the big hikmah. Why? Because he speaks lies. Because he said democracy is Islam, and Islam has no sharia, has no jihad. Okay, so some people, they have conspiracy theories. Everything's a conspiracy. 9/11, it was the Jews. Why do you want to give it to the Jews for? Why? Why do you give all the victories of the Muslims, you give away to the kuffar? No, the Muslims could never do it, okay, they're not good enough. Why? Who the hell are you? Tell the Muslims not good enough. No, it must have been the Jews. Why? He's got too much Hollywood in his mind. He can't shake it. He said, no way. How can a Muslim ever defeat America? Didn't you see Rambo? Didn't you see, G.I. Joe? Don't you know they have they have Steven Seagal? If Muslims try to do it, they'll twist him up. No, brother. Okay? Steven Seagal is a little kitten. The Muslim Mujahideen, they are people who are real fighters. They are people so shrewd, so smart. Those kuffar, they send troops into Afghanistan with all the weapons and the technology, with the antennas coming out their ears and their eyes and their backs and their other sides, everywhere. Yeah, with all the body armor, bulletproof vest and chest and back and helmet and bulletproof shin pads and knee pads and shoes and underwear and everything. And they're fighting Muslim wearing sawal kameez, okay, and sandals. And the Muslim says, Allahu Akbar, and he runs away. And they run back to their people and start writing to the MP. So we don't have enough equipment. These people, they're too tough. We need more. So you see, brothers, America is not the what you see on Hollywood. Okay, it's not what you see on Hollywood. That's not the truth. It's not the reality. Some people become so impressed by them. They saw Independence Day. So no, brother, no way. No way Muslim could do 9/11. How could they do that? Okay, America is the real one. They even defeated the aliens as well. So some people think America is impenetrable. No way to defeat them. No way to attack them. Who could be so brave to do it? The only one that could be really brave to do it is if he actually works for them themselves, agents. That is a satanic thinking. The one who belittles the efforts of the Muslims. And he has no understanding of the reality. He's been fooled by all the propaganda of the kuffar, of the West. Okay? So the Muslim doesn't have this evil thinking about Muslims. And start accusing everybody of being a spy, an agent, and being a liar, and all of these things without to verify. You can't start condemning people or forbidding munkar, okay, or they call it forbidding munkar, when you have no real evidence of that. So we do not hurry, we're not rushing in our forbidding the munkar. Okay? Our forbidding the munkar is something we need to take our time and be patient. When you hear something, okay, then you need to listen to the other side of the story. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, when you judge between two, he said to Ali, he said, when you judge between two, do not judge for one without listening to the second party the way you listen to the first. Okay? That's why even the ulama said, he must give equal time. And must give the equal attention. Okay? Not to the first one, he's listening so attentively. Okay? And imagine husband and wife. Some people like this, husband and wife. So the wife is the husband complaining about his wife, saying she doesn't obey me, she doesn't cook for me, she doesn't clean, she doesn't do this, and the judge is thinking, so bad, so evil. How can she do? What kind of wife? What kind of wife? By the time he gets to the wife, he's already made up his mind. He says, so what's the problem? Why don't you do it? Why don't you clean? That is not the way. You don't judge, because maybe she does clean, maybe he's a liar. The way you give him the benefit of the doubt, you need to give her the benefit of the doubt. The way you give the one telling you the story the benefit of the doubt, you need to give the one who the story is about the benefit of the doubt. Okay? Because some people say, I remember one person, okay, this is a real life example. One person, I won't mention the names, I don't think any of you know them anyway, but one person, he started to claim and accuse basically a brother. He basically said, look, so-and-so brother told me that you said, so-and-so is allowed. I don't want to give the real example, okay? That something is allowed. And obviously, the Shaykh, he said, but that's not true, I never said so. I never said so at all, what are you talking about? The brother went away and said, I never thought that the Shaykh would lie. So why he's a liar? Why not the one who told you before that he's a liar? And it turned out he was lying. But it turned out the first one, he was lying. But the first thing you assume, okay, is that the accused person is lying. Why? You're supposed to give benefit of the doubt to both. Not to just assume the worst about Muslims, not allowed. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Hujurat, verse 6, Surah 49, verse 6. أعوذ بالله من الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. He said, oh, you who believe, if there comes to you a sinner with news, verify, check. Otherwise you will harm people out of your ignorance and you will regret after that what you did. Okay? So Surah 49 verse 6, Allah warned us that if somebody comes to you with news, you need to check it. Don't just trust it. If you act upon it and harm somebody out of your ignorance, you're going to regret what you did afterwards. Okay? And this ayah in fact was revealed about a Sahabi who was not fasiq, trustworthy Sahabi. What happened was the Prophet ordered him to collect the zakat from another Muslim. And it happened that these two Muslims, these two companions, in Jahiliyyah before Islam, they used to have problems. They used to have certain grudge and fighting before. So the person who was sent to collect the zakat, he became afraid. Okay? He was afraid what would happen if he went to meet this person and demand from him the zakat. Okay? And in some narrations he said, he was so afraid that he didn't go to him anyway. One narration says he didn't go to the person. Okay? In one narration he said that he imagined himself going and that the person hit him. Okay? So then he went back to the Prophet ﷺ and he said he refused to give me the zakat and he hit me. Okay? Even though he never even went there. Okay? The companions, when they heard that, they said, give us permission, let us kill him. Ya Rasulullah. So you can see how dangerous the namima, the rumour, it can be. Before you check. But Allah Ta'ala revealed, O you who believe, when somebody comes to you with news, verify. Or you could harm people out of your ignorance and you'll regret what you did afterwards. And know that there is a messenger of Allah among you, and if he was to follow everything that you tell him to do, okay, you will be harmed, be corrupted. So the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had the manhaj to verify and check, not to assume a person is guilty without to hear their defense. And in the first place, the principle in the Sharia is that the burden of proof is on the one who claims, who accuses, is on the accuser, the plaintiff, not on the defendant. Okay? For the defendant is the oath. Meaning what? According to the Sharia of Islam, and there's no difference of opinion whatsoever, if somebody comes to you claiming, okay, for example, Abu Baraa loves the Shia and he allies with them and he supports them and he seeks help from them and he runs to them and he does all of this, he needs to give evidence. And if he comes to me and he says, is that true? I say, I swear by Allah, it's not true. You must accept my oath and reject his claim, accusation. Because his accusation is not based upon any truth at all. Okay? So the verification is binding, and it is a condition of any command good from the evil. Also, the ayah. Okay. Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Hujurat verse 15 as well. Surah 49 verse 15. Okay, إنما المؤمنون الذين آمنوا بالله ورسوله ثم لم يرتابوا وجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم في سبيل الله أولئك هم الصادقون. Allah Ta'ala says the believers are those who they believe in Allah and the Messenger, and after that they have no doubts. Okay. and they fight the jihad with their wealth and their bodies in the way of Allah. And they are the people who speak the truth. So the believers, they are people who follow yaqeen. They establish the understanding of the reality based upon certainty, without doubt. It said, ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُ. And after that they have no doubt. They don't follow doubt and conjecture. The people who follow doubt and conjecture are the disbelievers, the mushrikeen. Allah condemned them in Surah Najm, saying that يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا الظَّنِّ, that the disbelievers, they only follow the doubt. وَإِنَّ الظَّنَّ لَا يُغْنِي مِنَ الْحَقِّ شَيْئًا. And the doubt, the suspicion, will never have any substitute over the truth for anything. Okay, so that's the ayah in Surah Najm. I'll get it for you, inshaAllah. Surah 53, verse 28. Surah 53, verse 28. Okay, so Allah condemned the mushrikeen, saying that they only follow doubt, again a suspicion, and the suspicion they never have any substitute for the truth, for the reality, for the haqq, for the yaqeen, the evidence. And it also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah, Surah 4, verse 94, Surah 4, verse 94, Allah says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا ضَرَبْتُمْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَتَبَيَّنُوا وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَنْ أَلْقَى إِلَيْكُمُ السَّلَامَ لَسْتَ مُؤْمِنًا تَبْتَغُونَ عَرْضَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Allah says, oh, you who believe, when you travel in the jihad fi sabilillah, verify, and do not say to the one who gives you salam that you are not believers. Okay, that you're not a believer, seeking the booties of this life. In Sahih al-Bukhari, Abdullah ibn Abbas explained this ayah. There is revealed about a companion that was taking the booty from the disbelievers, and he captured somebody who from among the people, and the man said assalamu alaikum, but he killed him and he took his booty. Okay, so he took his wealth, killed him and took his wealth. So Allah reveals this ayah saying to verify, check. Maybe he was a believer. You don't just kill somebody without to check. Okay, that's why, and we're going to study this inshallah this week maybe, is why we must judge the apparent. Okay, we only judge the apparent. We don't start to say, yeah, what is the hidden truth? What's his real objective? Why is he really doing it? Okay, why is he really speaking the truth? He speaks the truth because it's fard. No, but why is he really doing it? Okay, I remember one person as well, he used to condemn Sheikh Omar and said, he's Ash'ari, deviant, Maturidi. Then Sheikh Omar corrected his Aqidah, it's Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So yeah, but why did he really become Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah? Why did he really change it? Because it's the haqq. That's what you wanted, that's what you wanted. If you were sincere, you're pleased when people correct themselves when they come to the truth. Not start to suspect them and say, oh, he only did it because he wanted to become popular. He only did it because of this, because to fool the people. Don't start to play games. It's all the conjecture and doubt. Allah subhanahu forbade it. Also, in Surah Hujurat, Allah subhanahu says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اجْتَنِبُوا كَثِيرًا مِنَ الظَّنِّ إِنَّ بَعْضَ الظَّنِّ إِثْمٌ وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا وَلَا يَغْتَبْ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا. He said, oh, you believe, avoid suspicion, because most of suspicion is a sin. And do not spy on one another, and do not backbite one another. This ayah, I'll just give it for you, inshallah. Surah 49, verse 12. Okay, Surah 49, verse 12. Also, as we mentioned, in Surah Nur, verse 15, Surah 24, verse 15. Okay.
So what verse that's on?
Surah 24, verse 15. And in fact, I think I can get a couple of other verses here as well. Let me just check the other verses. There's some other verses here as well. So you can take Surah 15 and 16. so Surah 15 and 16, Allah Ta'ala says, إِذْ تَلَقَّوْنَهُ بِأَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَتَقُولُونَ بِأَفْوَاهِكُمْ مَا لَيْسَ لَكُمْ بِهِ عِلْمٍ وَتَحْسَبُونَهُ هَيِّنًا وَهُوَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَظِيمٌ. He says, when they used to, and this is about the ifk, about Aisha, the rumor about Aisha, okay, people made up a lie about Aisha radiallahu anha, and Allah said that when the people, they used to just take it with their tongues and speak it with their mouth, meaning not even enter their own, they even think about it. They heard it and they repeated it. Okay, whatever they hear, they just repeat the rumors. He said, when they took it with their tongues and they repeat with their mouth, what they never had any knowledge about it. And they thought it was something small, but in the eyes of Allah it's something huge, something azim, something massive. He says, وَلَوْلَا إِذْ سَمِعْتُمُوهُ قُلْتُمْ مَا يَكُونُ لَنَا أَن نَتَكَلَّمَ بِهَذَا سُبْحَانَكَ هَذَا بُهْتَانٌ عَظِيمٌ. He said, but why didn't they, whenever they heard it, why didn't they say like this, that Subhanallah, all glory to Allah? Okay, this is clearly a lie. This is clearly falsehood, Islam. This is the way the believers. You see, the believers are supposed to have this mentality about each other. They defend each other. Somebody accuses a Muslim of something, and you question them a little bit about it. So, yeah, where did you get that from? When did you speak to him? I never spoke to him. Or when did you sit with him? I never sat with him. When did you meet him? I never met him. How can you tell me about him then? How come you know all this information about this secret information about somebody? You don't even know him. Okay? It's not like, it's not as easy as that. You start to talk about Muslims that you don't have any knowledge about. Okay? So rather, we say that those who they hear the rumor, they should say, clearly this is a lie. Until I know otherwise, it's a lie. We reject it. Okay? Let them bring evidence. Let them bring witnesses. Okay? Witnessing mean they heard, they saw, not they read about it on YouTube, okay, or on Facebook. They heard. That's called witness. Okay? They saw it. That's called witness. They don't have anybody. They have nothing. And people, they're just repeating stories and repeating rumors. So rather, when somebody hears this kind of namima, it is a serious crime, and we must reject it and declare the Muslim is free and innocent from all the accusations until it's proven otherwise. Okay? The other verse obliging us is Surah An-Nur verse 12, Surah 24 verse 12, also still talking about the rumor against Aisha radiallahu anha as well. Allah says, لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا وقالوا هذا إفك مبين. He said, why didn't they, when they heard the suspicion about the believing men or the believing women, why did they think good about each other? Okay, they give the benefit of the doubt, assume the best about each other, and say this is clearly a lie. That should be the default situation. Somebody accused Muslim, like somebody turns around and said, those Taliban kill women and children. No, impossible. Impossible. He's Muslim. They're believers. They believe it's haram. It's not their manhaj. It's not their policy to do that. That's your manhaj, Mr. America. You're the one who do that. No way a believer did that. Doesn't make sense. No? There's something wrong until you show me proof. Let me hear from Taliban. Let them prove, because the believers, they don't commit these crimes. You don't just say, you can't just go walk into a room and say, yeah, this one fornicator, that one is a burglar, that one drug dealer. Where are you getting this stuff from? If I believe you, I'm a criminal. I'm the one who's fallen, and I'm a sinner as well. If I start believing you and accepting these stories and rumors about people. Okay? The other thing that we mentioned is that whenever there is these accusations and doubt between the people, we must investigate it, not just take one side, but treat it as a dispute. And we must have this judging according to the Quran and Sunnah. We must refer it back to the Sharia, to the Quran and Sunnah, to see what is the truth. The Sharia method to judge between the people. This is what Allah says in Surah Nisa verse 59, Surah 4 verse 59. Allah says, فَإِن تَنَازَعْتُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ فَرُضُوهِ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِ. Said, whenever you differ in a matter, refer it back to Allah and His Messenger. Okay, so whenever you differ in a matter, go back to Quran and Sunnah, go back to Allah's Messenger. Why are you quoting, BBC and CNN against your Muslim brother? No, Osama bin Laden was CIA, I saw a documentary on it on BBC. Yeah, alhamdulillah, let's go back to Quran and Sunnah now. Forget about Mr. Kafir and his lies. Let's think about what Allah says. Did Allah say that believe the kuffar? Did Allah say that the Muslim is a spy? Did Allah say that for those who fight in the way of Allah against the disbelievers, that there must be agents? Or did Allah say He loves those who fight in the way of Allah? And they're the ones Allah guides. That they are the people trustworthy. And you should think good about them. So when you return to the Quran and Sunnah, we find the person has no evidence, it is rejected. So it must be investigated. It must be checked. You must think, especially when you're talking about matters of security, matters of life and death, matters of serious fear and concern for the community and the ummah. In Surah Nisa, verse 83, Surah 4, verse 83, Allah Ta'ala says, okay, Surah 4, verse 83. So, وَإِذْ جَاءَهُمْ أَمْرٌ مِنَ الْأَمْنِ أَوِ الْخَوْفِ أَذَاعُوا بِهِ وَلَوْ رَدُّوهُ إِلَى الرَّسُولِ وَإِلَى أُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْهُمْ لَعَلِمَهُ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَنبِطُونَهُ مِنْهُمْ وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ لَاتَّبَعْتُمُ الشَّيْطَانَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Allah Ta'ala says that whenever a matter of security or fear reaches you, you start to speak about it. You make it known to everybody. But if only they refer it back to the messenger and to the people of knowledge among them, then they could have investigated it and made it known the truth about the matter after investigation, verifying the ijtihad. Okay? And if it wasn't for the mercy of Allah, the blessing of Allah, then a lot of you, or you would have followed the shaitan except for a few of you. Okay. So this ayah is telling us, I'll repeat the ayah inshallah again. Okay, so the ayah says that whenever a matter of security or fear reaches you, the people make it known. But if only they referred back to the messenger and the scholars among them, they could have investigated it and made it known the truth about the matter. Okay? Some people, when they hear about fighting between mujahideen in Syria, or some argument or dispute between the mujahideen in Syria or in Iraq, the people start to speak. They're treated like schoolgirls, I'm sorry, but like girls in a playground, gossiping. Oh, did you hear about what Abu Bakr Baghdadi says? Oh, did you hear about Abu Muhammad? That's not how it works, ya Shaykh. Refer back to the ulama, they'll explain it to you. And people start to tell stories. They hear, oh, this Shaykh, he condemned Dawla. He never condemned anything. What are you talking about? Oh, he said that he's Khalifa. He never said the Khalifa. Wait, before you speak, check, verify. Talk about think about what you're saying first. Don't just jump to conclusions and start to condemn people and verify and command good, forbid the evil. That doesn't exist. Okay, munkar doesn't exist. You start to forbid it. Umar al-Khattab as well. He taught us how he was so careful in who he accepts testimony from. Okay, whether good or bad, even to say good about somebody. Okay, in one hadith, Umar al-Khattab he met a man. He said, "Look, I don't know, to accept something good from you." So he said, who can be witness for you? Who can testify, give you reference, okay, from the people? Okay, so he asked, who knows this man? So-and-so man. A man said, I can give the reference. I can be witness for him. So Umar al-Khattab, he says, did you travel with him? He said, no. He said, did you give him amana? Did you give him a trust? And he returned it to you? He said, no. He said, did you trade with him? He said, no. Okay. In other narrations, said, did you live with him or live near him? He said, no. He said, dare you don't know him. Maybe all that happened, you prayed behind him in the masjid, okay, and then you thought you knew him. So, it's not enough. Somebody starts to tell you about a person, who he is, what he's doing. Unless he knows him, really knows him, he's not suitable to give that type of testimony. Okay? He's not suitable to give that type of testimony. You need to find the original source of the news. Who's the one who actually witnessed it? Who's the one who actually really has information about it? Because everybody else is just repeating rumors and Chinese whispers. Goes around, the story changes a lot by the time it reaches you. Okay. That's mentioned in Sunan al-Bayhaqi, in the Kitab al-Adab al-Qadi. Okay, the story about Umar al-Khattab. And also be mentioned in Abu Dawood, in Kitab al-Qada, that the Prophet ﷺ spoke to Ali ibn Abi Talib. and he said to him, Allah will guide your heart and make your tongue firm. So when the two parties come before you, do not judge until you hear from the second the way you heard from the first. Okay, so repeat the hadith. Hadith is in Abu Dawood, Kitab al-Qada, Kitab of the Judging. He said, Allah will guide your heart and make your tongue firm. Okay, he's talking to Ali, because Ali was being sent at that time as a judge, okay, or a governor. And he said, Allah will guide your heart and make your tongue firm. When the two parties come before you, do not judge until you hear from the second the way you heard from the first. Okay? Good question.
So was he getting sent to Yemen?
He was sent to Yemen, yes. Okay? So, the important part, he said, when two parties come before you, do not judge until you heard from the second the way you heard from the first. Okay? So it doesn't matter what rumors or stories you heard, before you ever make a judgment if it's true or not, or you accept it or you repeat it to somebody else, you need to hear the other side of the story. Is it true or not? You need to ask him. Is that the case? Is that really what happened? Okay. Even the case of Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a. Hatib was a companion, and in the time of the conquest of Mecca, he had sent a letter to the Quraysh in order to, basically, not to the Quraysh leaders, to somebody from the Quraysh, somebody from the Mushrikeen there, telling him that the messenger was going to come, hoping that maybe they would protect him. Now, obviously, this is, normally will be considered to be an act of apostasy. Allah revealed to him about it and told him about the woman that he sent the letter with. So the Prophet sent Ali and Zubayr to collect the letter, and they went to her, interrogated her, and they retrieved the letter. The Prophet ﷺ, he did not immediately punish him. Rather, he called Hatib to him and he asked him. He said, "What is this?" Okay. He asked him, "What is this?" He verified. He listened to him fully, his entire story. Not to have the approach, yeah, whatever you say, I already know that you're kafir, I already know that you're deviant. Okay? That is the madkhali approach. The approach of some people, they don't know their head from their feet. They think that then they talk about Islam, but they don't know the basic Islamic character. Rasulullah ﷺ, even when Hatib was accused of the apostasy, and he even had proof, even had the letter, okay, was found with the woman sent by Hatib. And yet the Prophet ﷺ still verified. He brought Hatib and said, "Tell me, what is this?" Okay, so this manhaj of verification from the Sunnah, and is from the character of the Muslim and the conditions of commanding good within the evil. Okay, I'm going to give him this verse and give him some other verses, inshallah. And it's been mentioned as well by the Prophet ﷺ, narrated by Anas bin Malik, that verification is what Allah guides you to. Okay, and hurrying and rushing in speech is from the shaitan. Okay, so verification is what Allah guides you to, and hurrying is from the shaitan.
What's that recorded?
It's in narrated by Hafiz Abu Ya'la and Al-Bayhaqi as well. Okay. So this is the summary and the introduction, inshallah, to the topic of verification as a condition of commanding good from the evil. It gives you a good overview of the whole topic anyway, inshallah. But next week we are going to talk a bit more about the importance and the stressing, in particular the emphasis on this topic, because there's a lot more to discuss. Too much for me to start now, because we're going to get halfway, won't be able to continue. So I'm going to stop at this point, and we're going to have opportunity for question and answers for the rest of the session, inshallah, and then we may finish early if we have time. Okay. So if you have any questions.
So sometimes some scholars, they make statements about, let's say, about Lola. Someone said this statement.
Yeah.
I can verify that, but he's only going to write it on a blog or something.
Obviously, there's a few things we want to talk about now. Whatever the accusation that a scholar might make against a dawla, this is the first thing we need to verify. That's the most important thing. Okay? If we're talking about, did he make the statement or not, again, that's another thing we want to verify. That's why no reason for us to focus on the person. Who is he? Why is he sheikh? Who made him sheikh? It's not important. But if a statement has come out from whoever it's come from, we should respond to it and refute it, or we should suspect it if it has no evidence. Okay? And any accusations that they make against the mujahideen or opinion about it needs to be looked at in light of the Quran and Sunnah, in light of their own statements and what they make as well. Okay, so obviously it's a matter of ijtihad, matter of conviction. So if you are able to reach the least amount of doubt or certainty that a statement is truly from the person, obviously this is the best of your ability to verify. If you cannot, then ask people who know. Okay, if you don't know, so ask the ulama who have better means to verify those issues and maybe have more contact with those other people, and they'll be able to inform us. So those people who are trustworthy, and you will refer to them. Okay, so I'll give you an example. When we talk about Iraq and a dawla, certain times people started saying Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi declared himself Khalifa and so on, and they said that it's Khilafah, Islamic State now. Obviously, the accusations are not true. They're false. Okay. Although sometimes they're good intention, but he never said that. So the way you check it is, look, who said that he called himself Khalifa? Okay? Even some people said that about us, about Anjum. They said, oh, they have Sharia zone. What Sharia zone, brother, is we go to the market and we say to the Muslims to drink alcohol, brother, it's haram to drink alcohol. That's called Sharia zone. Okay? People started going around and saying they declared Khilafah in Walthamstow, Dar Islam in Walthamstow. Here's baqwas, rubbish. Who told you that? Nobody said that. Okay? People go around everywhere, and I got a phone call the other day from somebody who's saying that, yeah, brother, I understood from your sayings, and the brother told me and so on that you want to implement the hudud without authority. I said, what are you talking about? Who told you that? Nobody ever said that. Nobody ever said that. Nobody has that opinion. Okay, so where do you get that accusation about us? Doesn't make sense. Okay, so you need to check where did it come from. Did Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi have a statement declaring himself Khalifa? That's how you can check. Okay, is it really from him? If you have a video from Ayman al-Zawahiri, okay, video, maybe you have conviction, it's truly from Ayman al-Zawahiri. Okay? But if somebody just said, yeah, I heard Ayman al-Zawahiri. People say many things. And I've heard people, especially when it comes to Namima, people say, so-and-so shaykh condemns you, he hates you. And yet I sit with the shaykh and he seems to have no problem with me. Are you going to tell me that this man is two-faced? I'm not going to believe you. You understand? We look to the people upon the apparent. And if I can verify with somebody, I'll verify in person. If I can't reach him in person, I will use whatever means possible for me to reach conviction that I'm speaking to the person and verify from him. If I can't do that, then I'll ask Ahl al-Ilm, because that is a form of verification in Islam. The ayah said that whenever matter of fear reaches them, they speak about it. But if they refer to the ulama who can investigate it for them, then they can get the information. So if you can't verify yourself, verify by asking the trustworthy ulama. Okay? But when it comes to accusations, remember, anybody can make a mistake. Even an alim, even a trustworthy scholar. It's all possible somebody to make a mistake about what did he do? Did he do it or not? Okay? It could have some confusion. Now, for example, recently, there's a video come out about Sheikh Sulaiman al-Alwan. Okay? And people using it to say Sheikh Sulaiman al-Alwan is condemning the Islamic State of Iraq and Sham. And it's not the case at all. And the video was about a secret private meeting that was never supposed to be shared in the first place, where people came to him asking him questions. Yeah, and this is a common thing that people have, common fitna maker. Asking him questions in a particular way. Saying, look, Dawla did this, Dawla did that, what's the hukum? And the things that they accuse him of were not true. So he answered, saying, to do this is not allowed because this evidence and that evidence. Not saying Dawla is evil or whatever, he said based upon what the question is, he answered the question, it's not allowed. But the fact that the accusation and the story was false story, that didn't come out. And the other thing that the person didn't want to do, they shared that part of the video, saying that he criticised Dawla. But he didn't show the part of the video criticising Ahrar al-Sham and criticising those people, saying you are the people, you should leave what you're doing and join with Dawla. They didn't want to publish that part. Why only publish the part where you want to twist it, make it look like he's criticising the Islamic State of Iraq? So what you have sometimes, especially in this age of YouTube, there's cut and paste manhaj. People cut a bit here, cut a bit there, put them together, and you have a completely different story from what originally was the case. And we see that many times. People, they do that and they distort your situation and convince everybody that you are Shi'i. How did that happen? How did that rubbish happen? And you show them a video of the truth, saying, no, he's the shit out mushrik. So no, I'm going to trust the first one. That's somebody who does not follow the manhaj. You listen to the second person the way you listen to the first. The first one had this cut and paste video, the other one said to you, no, it's not true, what are you talking about, they're mushrik. Okay? No, you don't call the mushrik. I just call the mushrik. No, you don't call the mushrik. That is the person who's not verified and he wants to accuse and forbid munkar does not exist. Any other questions? Questions on the Power Talk? Yeah.
If someone suspects someone of fornication and says, I am pretty sure, does that class that person as a liar and his testimony has to be rejected regarding the fasting?
Okay. If somebody suspects somebody of zina and he says, I'm pretty sure that he did so and so, that is not allowed in Islam for him to do that. Okay? He can say he's suspicious. He did this, that makes him suspicious. But he cannot say he is a fornicator. If he says he's a fornicator, okay, without evidence, the ayah says, if they cannot bring 4 evidences, then he is the liar. And he will be lashed 80 lashes because for doing it. Okay? Even if he saw him, okay, but he can't bring 4 witnesses, he cannot speak it out. The only place he speaks it out is in court to testify as a witness. Not to go around spreading it everywhere, telling everybody. He's not allowed to do that at all. Okay, it's called the namima. Okay, he's not allowed. So you're gonna have this suspicion, and rather we judge the apparent. The apparent means we must have evidence. Ibn Abbas said about one woman in Hadith in Bukhari. He said if the people were punished because of their suspicious behaviour, then so and so woman would have been stoned to death. It means you can't stone her to death just because of a suspicious behaviour. I mean because her behaviour was so suspicious. Okay, that if it was allowed, then she would have been. But we don't do it because it's not allowed in Islam. Okay, we don't have that approach. Rather, we're based upon evidence only. If the evidence is not there, we do not accuse somebody of that without knowledge. Yes.
Have you heard that video?
I have heard, yeah. It looks like it's from him, but I don't know. No. There's a statement going around attributed to certain scholars in the UK attacking heavily Islamic State of Iraq and Sham, declaring that it's fard to fight them and that they're dead or in hellfire. No.
It could be divided from politically. It doesn't sound like him.
It could be, but it was published in places which are basically known to be his.
I was speaking to a brother the other day, he said he's in Syria.
Yeah, but he's very in favour of Halal Sham. This is from before the always has been. So it's serious thing, but yeah, inshallah, obviously we can verify more. But I mean, it just
So if someone just come back from Syria on a convoy, not Baraa, the brother who was with us the other day, he said that Afghan Sham was with Jabhat al-Nusra, they fight side by side.
Halal Sham, you know, in the past they did. You know, see, even at FSA they used to have no problem with cooperating against Bashar al-Assad. But what happened recently, things have changed. Recently, with the rising of Jabhat Islamiyya and Liwa al-Islam and Liwa al-Iman, they've started to come out and declare that the Islamic State of Iraq and Sham are troublemakers and that they are the ones causing the division and the problems, and that they start to say that to throw them out, they're outsiders, and to get rid of them and to fight them. And unfortunately, a lot of them have been doing so. They're the ones that have been pushed by Adnan A'ur and Mashqiyya, Har al-Sham in particular, are very closely related to them as well, to those two. Any other questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, we can leave early, inshallah. I was thinking, okay, let me ask you some questions. If there are no questions. First of all, make sure that you've all been paying attention. What is the definition of munkar? Any volunteers?
Was I new for that one?
I don't know. It was early on, but
I was going to say the same thing.
go on. No, go on. Say.
Everything that has been forbidden by the Quran
Anything that has been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, whether haram or makruh, okay, both of them considered to be munkar. What is the definition of ma'roof?
The opposite. The opposite.
Which is?
Anything halal, Allah.
Anything-
Sorry.
Anything that has been commanded to do in the by tapes.
It's the same thing, but fard and recommended.
Yeah. So anything that Allah is pleased with from the actions, whether it's fard, whether compulsory or recommended, it is ma'ruf. Good. And okay, let's ask you some questions on maslaha now, because we've been studying that for a little while. I should expect you to be on the ball, inshallah. For that. If somebody says that there could be some benefit, maslaha, in attending the interfaith circles for the sake of da'wah, so that you can tell the people about Islam, they can hear, what would you say to that? Besides batil, in explanation to that, what could you say?
It's a negated.
Negated benefits?
Because it's brought around by something which Allah has already forbidden.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's a negated benefit because something Allah has forbidden. Okay. Well, what if somebody says, okay, we don't have an Islamic state, we are living in weak time, we don't have army, we don't have strength, there's nowhere to go to receive our rights and get our rights, so I've got no other alternative. So for the sake of the benefit of receiving my rights, okay, I can go to the court of the Taghut to seek judgment from them, but I hate it in my heart, okay, and reject it in my heart, but for the sake of the benefit, okay, I can do that. Somebody else, inshallah, somebody who hasn't answered. Okay? So this is the mistake of not answering earlier. You had the easy questions. Go on. One of you three, or any one of you three to answer.
I answered one of them, I got wrong.
So that doesn't count then. I'm going to pick somebody in a minute. Abdul Muqis, you've been a bit quiet.
Okay, for original rule to go to Taghut to seek Hakum is shirk.
Yeah.
Which obviously, and there is no person does not have any permit at all to go and seek arbitration.
What about for the maslaha, akhi? Because there's no sharia, there's no Islamic state, you know, for the benefit.
There was any masla allowed to mention it.
Can we seek for
That's
Muslim?
true. That's true. Both of you true. You're correct. Anything else you can say? Both is correct. Obviously, all the good enough answers. I'm just thinking any other answers you can give as well. In addition. Lots of things you can say. You can say, first of all, the shirk can never have maslaha. Okay? You can say that there is no greater harm than the shirk. The shirk is the greatest harm. So how can you commit the shirk in order to remove harm to get benefit? Okay, so all of these things are correct, inshallah.
So whether he comes back and he says, I need to get my rights, and being that there's no Sharia court, how am I meant to get my rights as a Muslim?
Well, so what depends what the right is. If the right is, somebody says, look, somebody stole my car. Okay? It's your car, why don't you go get it? What's the
Or
problem?
if you can't track the guy down, then
How's the court going to help you? How's the court going to help you do that? When you go to
let's
court,
talk with, I use an example which is more common, and it's a shame in the Muslim Ummah, is parents stopping other parents from seeing children when a marriage
this is
breaks
a
up.
very difficult one. Very difficult.
Because obviously each parent has a right to see their child, and they're not getting their right.
Let's look at this one very serious way. I mean, the best way to deal with it is to talk to them and say, look, we're Muslim, let's go to Sharia court, let a Muslim judge to decide between us about the visitation. We don't need to go to the Taghut court. There's nothing forcing us to go there. Why do you want to go there for to become mushrik? Let's do it in front of a Muslim. Let the Muslim decide between us. If they don't accept that, okay, the father is the children tribute to the father. Let the father say, okay, well, I'll go get my children then. Okay, if I can't do it by myself, I'll take two brothers with me. But we're going to get my children. If you can't do that, I know of course not. If you can't do that, okay, I'm just doing it step by step. If you can't do that, then akhi, is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you need to just accept. Okay, that when you're living without the Sharia, you're going to be oppressed. Okay, and that oppression does not permit you to commit shirk in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the ayah says that when the angels take the souls of the people oppressing themselves, how? By disobeying Allah. Okay? They will say, what was your situation? They said, we were oppressed, weak and oppressed in the earth. That was the excuse to commit the haram. Okay? Because they were living in Mecca, living in Dar al-Harb. They said, oh, we're weak and oppressed, that's why we had to commit the sins. We had to disobey Allah. So the angels will say, wasn't the earth wide enough for you to make hijrah? Meaning, if you cannot live without to go to the Taghut court for judgment, go live somewhere else, akhi. Live in the mountain, live somewhere else in the jungle. It's better for you. Unless you're talking about duress. Unless someone is talking about, I was arrested, I was taken to court. But I'm talking about now the one who says, no, I'm going to take my wife to court. I don't care. Why you want to go? Why you want to do that for? Why? Okay. You can have better situation. Take your children and go somewhere, inshallah. It's better. Okay? Or make ihtisab, wait for the day judgment for compensation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you get the reward. And understand it's test from Allah. You need to have the sabr and not to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any other questions? Okay, I have questions. Okay. What would you say if somebody says, okay, coming out in demonstrations, condemning the tawaghit and the kuffar and the man-made laws, and calling for the law of Allah is causing harm to the community because the EDL and the disbelievers, they start to attack Muslims and condemn and insult Muslims? What would your answer be? Would you say this is correct or wrong, and why? Okay, so somebody wants to say, look, you coming out in demonstrations, condemning the man-made law and calling for the law of Allah, and condemning their wars and supporting the Muslims, the Mujahideen, is causing harm to the community, so it's not allowed for you to do that. It's deviation, even. Okay, because the enemy, the EDL and others are coming out and condemning you and fighting you and so on. What would you say?
I would say the deed itself is not haram. So if there's a harm that comes of something which is halal, it doesn't make the deed itself haram. The fact that we're fulfilling the obligation of commanding good from dealing with evil is where the benefit lies, because the truth is distinguished from the falsehood, and the peaceful of the falsehood rose against the truth, and that is where the maslaha lies.
Very good, excellent. Very good answer, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. With that good answer, akhi, let's finish the session here, inshallah.